Hey guys, how we doing on this Thursday? Wait for a few more people to jump in here. It's been a couple weeks. We've been busy. Had some stuff go on with work and wasn't able to put some things together. Was actually gone for a few days during that windstorm, snowstorm for my regular job. So let me get the volume turned down on the chat here. There we go. Anyway, let me know how the volume's checking out here, guys. On it. See who's on here tonight. Before we talk about a couple of things, see what's going on around the Northwest. Want to hear from you guys. Last weekend in March, and we get right into it. So, been a lot of talk going on the Facebook page and direct messages and all that. So hopefully people are getting excited and a lot of things are coming together. I talked to the Pasco track, Gina, today for a little bit. They're getting going on their regular club racing this weekend, so hopefully they have a great turnout. I think they have oval and off-road both this weekend and next weekend, I believe. So that's great that's happening for them. We know over here on the west side it's pretty wet still, so outdoor racing's not really available yet, even though it's beautiful out right now. Sun's out. I don't know, it's in the mid 50s, I think. But here a week and a half ago, we had a little bit of chilly and snow and rain and all that craziness going on. So anyway, we had a few more minutes, or not a few more minutes, but another minute here, and we'll get going. We had a couple of big races down south that happened. DNC was a week ago. I know our wild child there, they call him, AJ, on the Spokane area. He went down there and had some pretty good runs in his intermediate classes. So nice job. Hats off to AJ. I know Carl Bauer was down there running around. So good for Carl. Excited to see him again coming up, along with everybody else. So what's going on? Get in the chat. Start throwing some things out there. What are you guys looking forward to? Who's going racing soon? We got the big barn coming up next weekend. Actually, I help out with that, so I'll be heading up there on Thursday morning, up to Chilliwack, not very far from here, just right on the other side of the border. So great way for you guys to shake some of those cobwebs off or whatever, get into a big arena. They put on a great event. Chris Mueller and all the guys from Outlaw and all the help that they have. So like I said, we'll be up there Thursday, probably before noon. I'm taking some stuff up to help get their track all done. So pit lane for us will be up there being used for them. So that's great. And then you see on here we've got all the flyers now coming into from all the tracks. So hopefully everything that we've checked on there checks all the boxes, so you guys can click on there and see what's going on. Of course, go to the Shopify store. You can just click on that real quick here. So of course, you're over here at the Shopify store. You can click on individual races, of course, now, like it was before. And wrong thing. I gotta actually go onto my laptop to do that. So that brings it up, right? And you can scroll down, sign up for whatever class you're wanting to do for that event, add it to the cart, go check out. Hopefully everybody knows how to do that. Right, and there they all are. They're all individual, so now they take it each one. So that was a task to get that going. And then we've been asked to, let me get over here, about the sign-ups. So we do have that. This was brought down at 8 or 6 p.m. tonight. So this is who we have so far. In the next couple weeks, I'm sure there'll be quite a bit more that happens on there, but a lot of people have been asking about that. So this is who we have for Pasco so far. So that's great for them. We know over the next couple weeks there'll be a lot more. So I think Jamie Nash, he took on that role to update this. He's going to try to do it every night as we go here. So that's something that you guys asked for. So, and we might do something different. This was something that we just came up with on here. If you guys maybe want to try something different or do something different, throw that down in the chat, and we'll see if we can work on that as we go throughout the series this summer, and see what those signups look like for pre-signups. You can always sign up at the track the day of. So I think we're probably gonna close down signups. I'm thinking maybe Wednesday evening before each event. Give us a day to put everything together, and then just transition into signups at the track. I'll double check. We'll talk to each track and make sure that everybody's on board with that. But I think that's a good time to do that, so we're not scrambling on Thursday night. As we head out usually around 4 a.m. Friday morning with the group that travels with me, and of course the Extreme Trailer going to all the events this year to help support that trackside support with what that we got in the trailer. And you need something at trackside. Hopefully we have that to keep the racers racing throughout the weekend. So again, let me put we got that on there already. And then, of course, we have our spec tire. This year's again going to be by TZO. So I actually have those here with me, and just opening up the box. Haven't got it completely open yet, so I'm going to open up the box here, and we'll see what Nick has in here. It looks like we got some banners. We'll have to get those spread out. We'll be taking those to each track. So a couple of those. Oh, it looks like we got two different styles. So anyway, I think that one goes this way. So we got some big. You can come this way. Where's my camera here? Oh, right here. Got a couple big banners we'll be taking to the track. And then, here's our spec tire for this year. So we're starting off, we'll be running the 601s again, of course, all year long. We're starting off with the Ultra Soft and pre-glue, and they're all in white this year. So thanks to Nick Nick Hernandez there at TZO for getting us set up and going on that this year. And then again, want to have a big shout out to Carson Phipps. Last year, he tested quite a bit with different tires, and we know we have some new tires, or they have some new tires that are coming out and have been, and he was involved in that, and we tested the 601s throughout all the compounds at the different tracks, and I think most people know that the year before and early part last year, I have a sample of every dirt track around the Northwest, and believe it or not, I even have some dirt from Silver State. So I wanted to do some comparing, and we ran through a bunch of different tests with the dirt, and had a lot of input from other racers around the Northwest, and even the ones that travel down to Silver State, and of course DNC and TNR Fuels and all that. So big shout out to all those guys behind the scenes that make sure that and every tire brand manufacturer does this kind of thing, and we wanted to help out with what we could, make sure that we got a good tire and a good compound for what we run in the Northwest, and the 601 seems to be a very good all-around tire. Seems to work really well around the Northwest tracks. A little wet, a little dry, grooved up, not grooved up. So we're happy with that, and we're glad that Nick Hernandez and the gang and all the TZO drivers can get behind what we do, and again, we're going to support them, and they're going to support us. So like I said, big shout out to them. So big barn next weekend. Yeah, that's definitely starting off what we consider kind of the 8 scale season, if you will, in the Northwest. Still a little wet for outdoor, so it's great that they're able to do that, facilitate that. They got some big numbers again this year, already on their pre-sign-ups. And then as far as us down here in the States, of course, we're excited a couple weeks later to shout out to start off there in Pasco, and in between you got the Hobby Expo there in Monroe, Washington for the fairgrounds, and we actually have a couple booths going to happen there this year. So we have one for our extreme side of things for the support, so we'll have our products there, and then also with Nora there in Burlington. Of course, they're back in the NCT this year, and also the NCT, so we're doing a kind of a shared booth with them. So we're going to get the word out and have flyers and info, and of course cars and all that stuff. And then of course Nora being outdoor track local up here in Burlington, Washington, they're involved, and they're going to have some of their cars and some people stopping in throughout the weekend, to answer any questions, get people excited about the outdoor season coming up, and yeah, any of that stuff that people want to see or talk about. And the Expo is just a great time to happen. They have rock crawlers. They have a big drifting scene. They actually have a pool over in the corner. They have some boats. They do some drone flying. They have some 3D printing and maker booths going on. Of course, Die Hard RC next door in the pavilion in a different building. They're doing a carpet event. I think that's the last would be the last indoor carpet event that they're doing. So shout out to all those people that'll be around, and they got food trucks, and then there's a big swap meet that happens there also in some buildings next door. So if you're trying to get into some RC, or you're looking for some older vintage RC, or just collectible, or whatever that is, that's a place to come up here in the Northwest. Again, that's the following weekend. I believe that's let me look at my notes here, April 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Monroe Fairgrounds. I don't know what the cost is for someone coming in to the Expo. I believe, I shouldn't probably say, but I thought the vendor part of the swap meet might be free for people to walk through. I don't know that, I guess, for sure, but anyway, a lot of stuff, a lot of planes, a lot of different things. So that's just a great thing to have in the Northwest. So here I'll put the latest sign up sheet back up there, and we've had a lot of people message us through the NCT direct message into me, just texting. So people are going to sign up. They just haven't been able to for whatever reason. And the way the portal's set up with Shopify, you can't sign up and not pay. So it won't let you do that. So there's been a lot of people go on the site and click the button to get signed up, but then of course you need to check out. So, and we're able to see that. So, but we're not going to put any of that information up, because that's no one else's business. So these are the people that have already paid, and that money helps the individual tracks get going for the year. And there's a big cost for for awards, of course, that have to be bought, a month ahead of time, and if there's rental equipment or upgrades, whatever they need at the track. Maybe something didn't make it through the winter, or they've been planning to do something. So people that get signed up and paid, that helps out the tracks, kind of get their program going. And being Pasco's, they chose the number 1 this year. They're the first one taken off, so everyone's gonna get on board, and they'll be get some excitement going, and that's what we're working on, and a lot of great things going to happen. I mean, we're happy with the schedule this year. We're going to be traveling a little farther this year. We're going to be going to Eagle, Idaho for the firecracker. That's right here. So they're the big barns next weekend. And then start off here in Pasco. Then the Hank, of course, Memorial Weekend in Spokane. And then, the Firecracker Fury there in June. And then July, obviously, up in Nora. And let me see if I can get that. Jamie just said he updated the list. I don't know if that's something I can do. As we're on the fly right here, but I can maybe go look at it here and maybe see if I can get the latest on here real quick. And this baby's chugging away here, so let's see here. Let's see, what'd you put it on, Jamie? Probably on the, I would assume, on Facebook here real quick. So let me take a quick look here and see what it says. Oh, right here. Sorry. Whoops. I clicked on the wrong thing here. Let's see if we can get this going here. Down a little bit here. Okay, so let me go over here. Let me go down here. Okay, here we go. Here's the latest right now on there. I'm not sure what the update is, so I'd have to let's see, not that. Here we go. Oh no, that's right there. So anyway, that's the, oops, sorry guys. Let me get this centered back for you here. Yeah, so there's the latest. I can't really blow that up right now, but yeah, there'll be more. Obviously, it's going to be a big event. Like, people are already messaging me, even on the, yeah, it's on Facebook, on my phone over here. So, yeah. What else you guys want to? Oh wait, that's not the latest. It said 10 minutes ago, Jamie. I don't know why that's not the latest, but my thing says it is. So hold on, let me go back here then. Okay. Anyway, that's what I got, guys. What do you guys want to talk about? Oh, Brian, gotcha. Okay. In what class? Anyway, there's a few more from today, but yeah. What else? We took the time and listened and watched Chris Nelson talk down there about things that were going on with his event, and really appreciate all that input that he had, and marshalling and all that, and we want to make sure that everyone's event and everyone's race day goes off without a hitch, if you'll say that. And we definitely want to make sure that marshalling is on everybody's agenda. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the CAMRC, but CAMRC came out with a post this week that talks about limiting their entries per driver, if you will, just to make sure that marshals are available and no one can have a lot of extra entries or sign up for a lot of classes and then they're not able to go out and marshal. So we're not we're not gonna restrict people from signing up. We just know that marshaling is an important thing for everybody, and if you're only doing 2 classes and you can't you have a hard time getting out for 2 classes for marshaling, then probably signing up for 3 would not even be a benefit. But there's always somebody around the track that can possibly help you with that. But just make sure that you touch base with those people. There's been some groups in the past that have had marshaling services. I don't know if any of those are going to be available at any particular events this year. But if you know of somebody, or a racer knows of somebody that's an able-bodied person, skilled marshaler, and they want to tackle that, let us know, and maybe we can try to get that out to the group. And here shortly, we're going to have our RD and both of them. When I say both of them, we know that Schumacher is going to be starting us off in Pasco, and Ryan Rivas is going to be taking over after that. He has a carpet race, I believe, back in New Hampshire, I think, and he was unavailable for that weekend for Pasco. So glad that Mike stepped up for that, and he will be kicking us off this year in Pasco, and then Ryan Rivas will be taking us from then on throughout the series. There's some initial plans for the Can-Am, of course, this year in October. I don't have any flyer or anything built yet. Still kind of working on all the details, but we do have a date, of course. It's the weekend before Halloween, so it would be like the I don't have my calendar in front of me, 22nd, 24th, something like that. So people have a calendar, you can maybe pencil that in. But we do have the arena up there in Linden reserved. We'll be coming out with a schedule, and we have at least one addition surprise to that we're working on. And speaking of which, without letting the cat out of the bag, there's something pretty exciting happening for Pasco this year. Not quite ready to announce that, but that should be coming out shortly, and hopefully that will be available for a couple other events throughout the season. I can't really speak on it too much more than that. We just kind of learned about it recently, so stay tuned. And so 23rd of October is the Friday. So yeah, 23rd, 24th, and 25th for the Can-Am. So from very similar to the barn event there in Chilliwack, and between the two, as far as miles, they are relatively close together. I think the arena to the border is like, I don't even know, maybe 10 miles, I think. And then Chilliwack is just another 20 miles. So not much farther or not much closer, depending on which way you're coming from. So anyway, but that's a long time. That's a long time ahead. It'll come fast, right? But long time away at the end of the season. So like I say, we kind of talk about the barn kicking us off the season with the early arena race, and then everybody goes outside for the most part, and then we'd like to say let's end up indoors in the arena, and kind of close down, if you will, in the summer, spring, fall in the Northwest with the Can-Am race there in Linden. So people that didn't go last year, you know who you were, and you talked to people who did go, and you know what they said. So, and we're going to add some more to that this year. So, I'm not sure what else we want to talk about tonight. Get signed up, go to the portal, Shopify, NCT. Go to the website, nctracing.com. It's got info in there, and then there's a link that will take you right to the Shopify store, of course. We do have our rules done for this year. Nothing really out of the ordinary than you would expect from any other race event, but we do have those. I will get those, if they're not already, I don't believe they are, on the website, and then maybe I'll try to put something on the Shopify store, so if people are there, maybe there's a way we can look at them through there, and I can try to put a link or a QR code or something for the any rules. They're all basic. We try to follow what Roar has put out there. That establishment or whatever's done so much for the RC community, especially in our tent scale program. And we know we all pretty much run open things for electric and nitro, but when you have those controlled tent scale classes, they're the ones that are making sure the manufacturers are putting out what they say on the outside of the can, or what they're advertising, same with like the ESCs and the batteries and all that stuff. So when you're in a racing situation, stock racing situation where things matter and you want to make sure you're getting the most out of what you put in your car, Roar's the one that holds those companies accountable. So appreciate what they do. They've been working on some transitioning through their organization the last couple of years, and what's his name, Peter Robinson up here in the Northwest, I believe he is still going to be part of that Roar up here in our area for another year. So you got any questions about that, reach out to Peter, and he can answer any of those things. But yeah, so like novice, for the NCT, tent scale and 2S, right? So 2S lipo, pretty much any tent scale car. We want to make sure that somebody just doesn't come in with some big 8 scale car and jump in the novice and just kind of bash your way through the qualifying heat and into the main event, and that's not what we're looking for. And we all know that slow is fast, and learn the car and learn the track and what it can do, and throttle control is just a part of that skill. Reminder with dry camping. And when I say dry camping, I don't know for sure about every single track, if they have ability to maybe plug in a regular extension cord or whatever. But I know Eagle Hill in Idaho, they're working on that ability. As far as NORA goes, anyone that's been there in the past, there is going to be RV spots available. I'm working on that myself, so there will be some actual spots with, and I don't want to say full hookups, because they do have water. They have one water one water spigot over on I believe by Site 1, that has drinkable, potable right from the city, and they've redone that line, so it has a lot of pressure now. I don't believe there's any dump station on site. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so, but definitely good power. And then we will have some spider boxes spread out down the area for next to that house, if people are familiar with that. Be able to plug in. Again, it'll be limited, but there will be some power down there. And then hopefully, kind of down the center between the horseshoe pits, if people know that, and I'll put a map out, and the actual track. We'll have a little bit of power back there for people. So camping at NORA this year will be good with that. I know all the rest of the tracks are, working on those abilities to, help campers out with usually power, and be able to get some water. And you're just gonna have to go, if you need a dump, you're just gonna have to go take care of that off site, of course. So I believe everyone has agreed on $50 RV camping price this year. So that's great. Everyone's on board with that, and that should be adequate for the ones that need to, have an additional cost for either the city or the county or whatever. So that's a great thing to do. Bring the family. I don't have any more information about the Friday night girls thing that's going on. My wife Kendall and of course Brooke, and I'm not sure who the other person is, but they're working on something so the ladies can come with the group, and Friday night get out and have a little fun by themselves. If that's something that the ladies want to go do, and whatever they want to go do, that's on them. So that's kind of a neat, unique plan. Hopefully it's got more planning than I'm just talking about, but I know there'll be something. I know it'll be fun, even if it's just, hey, let's go, right? That's why initially there was going to be the name of like, let's go girls, because what the heck, not everything's got to be scheduled like we do here at the NCT, and you don't have to worry about qualifying at this time. And so anyway, they're going to go do their thing, and yeah, Jamie, you're right. We have Gas Truck as a track pick at 3 of the 6 tracks right now, and I don't know if any of the others will have the ability to maybe do an exhibition race or something maybe Saturday night, but 3 of the 6 tracks have Gas Truck, so that's exciting. Hats off to the group that put on that vintage race earlier this year. Eagle, they're having a vintage buggy class for their track pick, and yeah, Gas Truck, man, those things are really cool. They've come a long ways now. There's, I think, 3, maybe 4 different versions of the aftermarket Gas Truck, and then of course, Associated, they have their, you can get that truck still. So that's really cool. Well, 7:30. We need to be off. 7:31. Kind of chatted a little too long. Appreciate everyone coming on board. Make sure that you guys click like and share and comment and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you guys. Next week. So appreciate it, and we'll see you guys. Ooh.